Hi, Megan here, and I'm going to show you how to paint this snowflake using my painting kit today. If you'd like to get my painting kit, it's linked in the description below, and if you don't have it, no worries, you can still follow along and paint this using your own supplies. If you don't have the same size canvas or paper, that's okay. You'll just have to adjust the size for your canvas or your paper, and that's totally fine. I'll let you know everything that you need to get. And before we get started, please subscribe for more painting videos, more drawing videos, and you can always let me know what you'd like to see in the comments as well. So thank you for being here, and let's get started with this snowflake. So here's everything that comes in your kit, or the things that you'll need to get if you don't have the painting kit. We've got our canvas and our easel. We've got 2 paintbrushes, a flat brush and a round brush. The paint colors you need, which are light blue and white, and then we've got our gems and a paint palette. You'll also need to grab a water cup with clean water in it and a paper towel. So the first thing we're going to do is get set up. We're going to take our canvas off our easel and set our easel to the side, so when we're done with our painting we can display it on that. We're going to move our palette to the side and put our canvas right in the middle. And we're going to open our blue paint so we can paint the background first. And we're going to use our flat brush, which is this one, to start the painting. So first thing we'll do is we'll wet our brush a little bit in the water, and then just dab it a little bit on our paper towel. And now we'll grab some blue paint and we're going to paint the whole background. I'm doing vertical paint strokes for the whole background. And at the end of the video, we'll paint the sides too, so you don't need to worry about that now. We'll paint them at the end. So to paint the background, we're just getting paint and putting it on the canvas. We're doing vertical strokes like this so that it doesn't look too messy. If you do other kinds of paint strokes, like say you take your blue paint and you go kind of like that, it'll make the background look a little bit messier. So we're just gonna do paint strokes vertical or up and down because that keeps it clean. It keeps it nice and neat. Almost done, just a little bit over here. There we go. So we've got our blue background painted, and we're going to take our brush and put it in our water and leave it there for a little while. And we need to let this dry. So if you want it to dry faster, you can use a fan or a heat tool or a hair dryer to blow it on your canvas and let it and dry it faster. Or you can just let it sit for a little while. Acrylic paint dries pretty fast, so you can just let it sit for a few minutes and it should be dry. So I'll come back when mine is dry. Okay, my canvas is dry, so I opened my white paint, and now I'm going to wet my round paintbrush, this one. I'm gonna just wipe the extra water off on a paper towel like that. And we're gonna get some of our white paint. So when you get your white paint on your brush, be sure you get plenty of paint on the brush like that. And we're gonna paint a plus sign on the canvas. I'm gonna turn mine a little bit so that it's easier with the way my hand goes. And you might find that that's easier for you too, to do it this way. So with my white paint, I'm gonna paint a plus. Just a straight line down. If it's not perfectly straight, that's okay. If it's not perfectly even, that's also okay. I'm gonna get a little bit more white paint, and then I'm gonna do a line straight across so it looks like a plus sign. Just thickening up the middle line a little bit, and there you go. If it's not perfectly even, it's okay. Because we're painting a snowflake today, not all snowflakes look the same, so that's perfect actually. We're gonna get some more white paint, and now we're gonna do an X across the middle. So we're gonna start about right there and do an X. do it the other direction, do another line. There we go. So now you've got the base of your snowflake. And now we're gonna add the fun parts that make it look a little bit different from each snowflake. So what I'm gonna do is get some white paint, and I'm gonna do a diamond shape at the top, the bottom, and each side. So all of the ends of the plus sign, they're gonna have a diamond shape. So I'm gonna do a dot right above where my line ends, and then I'm gonna come at an angle out to where the line ends. See how it's even with where my first line ends? And then I'm just gonna do a line down, connecting it, and then fill it in. Now we'll do the same thing on the bottom. We've got a dot, we've got our angled line that comes where the line ends, the middle line ends. Same thing on the other side. And then we'll do another angled line connecting it to the middle line, and then fill it in. We'll do the same thing on each side. We've got our dot, our first angled line, our second angled line, and then connect it. And the last one. Now we're going to look at the lines that make the X, and we're going to add small lines at an angle on either side to make little arms on the snowflake, okay? And the lines that we make are going to match the lines that go up and down. So we're going to do 1, 2. Get some more paint if you need to, and go to the next one. 1, 2, or 1, and then here's 2. And then we're going to do the same thing on the bottom. Just like that. Now we're going to keep going with our white paint on the lines that make the X, and we're going to do a circle. And if it touches your line over here, it's okay. Don't worry about it. It's fine. It's no problem. And then we're going to do it on each one though. An easy way that I like to paint a circle is to do half of it at a time. So we can start at the end of the line here. We're going to go half of it this way, then half of it this way. And then you just kind of gently mix it to make the rest of the circle. So we'll do it again over here. Half, and then half. And it doesn't have to be a perfect circle either. Because all snowflakes are different, all our circles could be different too. So now we're going to go back to the plus sign, and we're going to add some embellishment to those lines. We're going to do the same thing we did on the other ones where we just do little arms on it. We're going to go close to our diamond and do the same thing, just little arms. And then one more right below that. And we're going to do that on each one. So the first one will be right next to the end where the diamond is. And then one right below that. And just keep going until you've done all of them. I'm using a pretty light touch with my paintbrush so that it doesn't add too much paint to the canvas at once. So if you are having trouble with the lines being too thick, you might try pressing less hard with your paintbrush. There we go. Now we've got our basic snowflake in the middle, And now what I'm gonna do with my white paint is do some dots all around to represent other snowflakes. So I'm just taking my white paint and just dabbing it on the canvas in kind of random spots. There's not a pattern. Just do a few in each corner, like that. Now comes the fun part. So we're gonna close our paint, and we wanna close it tight and make sure it clicks. Like that, okay? Make sure both paint containers are closed, and we're gonna open the container that has our gems in it, and mine just jumped out at me. So I'm gonna pick that one up and then dump out the others that I have on my table, because all of the kits are a little bit different and that you might not have the exact number of the different sizes of each gem that I have here. So I'm gonna separate mine by size and see what I have, and then we're gonna place our gems on our canvas. Okay, so here's what I'm working with and the different sizes gems that I have. You will have some variation of this, just maybe not the exact number of each size. So there'll be some big, some medium, and some small in all of the kits. If you don't have the painting kit, no worries. You can get these gems and get whatever size you want. So now that we've got all our gems on the table, we do want our paintbrush. We're going to use our round brush still, and we're going to reopen the white paint. And we're going to use our paint to stick our gems to the canvas. So I'm going to find the biggest gem, which is going to be one of these, I think this one. And I'm going to use that one for the middle. So I'm going to take some white paint, and I'm just going to do a dot of paint right on the middle of the canvas. Even though it's still a little bit wet, I want to make sure it has plenty of paint to stick to, especially because this is kind of a big one. So I'm going to just do a dot of paint, grab my gem, and drop it on. Just press it down gently. There we go. So now what I'm gonna do is find 4 gems that are roughly the same size. So I don't have 4 of this big size, but I do have 4 of this kind of medium size. So I'm gonna grab 4 of those, and I'm gonna put them on each of the diamonds in the middle. So here, 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 and here. Do the same thing, do a dot of paint. These gems aren't as big, so you don't need as big of a dot as if you were using a big gem. Just drop it on. And I'm doing mine in the middle of the diamond shape. You can do yours wherever you'd like. Okay, and now I'm gonna take 4 of my small size gems, and I think I'm gonna do them in these circles here. So I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna do a dot of paint and drop my gem on. Now you might not have 4 of the same size left, and that's okay. So maybe what you do is you do 3 of a medium size and 1 small, or you want to use the big ones. That's fine, it's up to you. In fact, I'll use a big one. I'm going to use the big one here, and another one over here. And then I'm gonna, on the other 2, at each end of the snowflake, I'm gonna use a medium-sized one. If you drop it upside down in your paint, that's okay. Just pick it up. Might get your fingers a little messy like mine, but you can wash them, so it's no big deal. We'll do our last one over here. And now the rest of my gems are pretty small. I have one kind of medium-sized one, but I'm going to use those all around on some of these dots that we did on the outside. So Not necessarily every dot, I'm just gonna scatter them. And every time I put a gem down, I'm gonna put a new dot of paint because some of my paint has dried already. So I want there to be paint for it to stick to. All right, just a couple more to go. And this is just what I'm doing. If you don't want to do it like this, that's okay. I'll do one more over here. There we go. Now you can look at your canvas and see if you want to add more dots, you can. I might add a few more small dots that are even tinier than the ones that are already there. Just barely touch your canvas with your paint. You're still using your round brush, and it's just a very gentle touch to the canvas. And that'll just give the effect of more snow in the background. Especially if the dots are smaller, so they're all different sizes. Just adding some small dots in every section. There we go, all done. So now you're gonna wanna put your brush in your water to clean it off. That way it doesn't dry out. Look. So we're gonna let this dry so that our gems don't move around, and then our last step will be to paint the edge of the canvas. Okay, after you've let it set for a few minutes and all of your new little dots are dry, you can hold your canvas by one side or by two sides, get your flat brush, and we're gonna go back to our blue paint and paint the edges of our canvas. And it really is just painting the canvas like this. So I'm gonna do one side, two sides, and then I'm going to paint the third side, but then we'll have to let it dry again before we paint the fourth side because we won't have anything to hold. Do that. Oops. I just did what I said we were not supposed to do. I touched the wet side. So now I'm going to hold it by one side here, and I'm going to paint this third side. And all you are is just adding paint to the canvas. So you dip it in your blue paint and painting the edge. So now with 3 edges done, I'm gonna let it dry so then I can paint the last edge. Okay, my edges are dry. So now I'm gonna paint the final edge. Go. Once your canvas is totally dry, you can display it on your easel, just like that. So once you're done painting, we need to clean up. So we're going to close our paint until it clicks like that. And if you have leftover paint, as long as you keep it in this sealed container, it should last you for a long time. So you could paint again if you want to. You could paint the same thing or use it for another project. Then with our paint brushes, they're both in the water right now, and we want to make sure that we clean them off. So we're going to clean them off in the water, and then we're going to wipe them on a paper towel. And when there's no paint coming off of the paintbrush, then you know it's clean. So that one's good, and we're going to store it horizontally like this. And then same thing with our round brush. I don't see any paint on it, so that means this one is clean. And you can store it laying down like that, or you can put it in a container face up like that too. So then we have our snowflake with our gems on it. It's a sparkling snowflake, and not all of them are gonna look the same, which is so cool because that's how snowflakes are. So if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe for more drawing and painting videos, and I appreciate you being here. You can always let me know what you'd like to see in the comments too.